The council took Jesus to Pilate, the Roman governor. They accused Jesus of misleading people and claiming to be the Messiah. Pilate asked Jesus if he was the king of the Jews. Jesus replied, "You have said it." Pilate found nothing wrong with Jesus and said so to the priests and the crowd. The accusers insisted Jesus was causing riots everywhere. Pilate learned Jesus was a Galilean and sent him to Herod Antipas. Herod was delighted to see Jesus, hoping for a miracle. Herod questioned Jesus, but Jesus remained silent. The leading priests and teachers of the law shouted accusations. Herod and his soldiers mocked Jesus, dressed him in a royal robe, and sent him back to Pilate. Herod and Pilate, previously enemies, became friends that day. Pilate called together the religious leaders and the people. Pilate declared Jesus innocent and said he did not deserve the death penalty. Pilate offered to have Jesus flogged and then released. The crowd demanded the release of Barabbas instead. Barabbas was in prison for insurrection and murder. Pilate argued with the crowd, wanting to release Jesus. The crowd kept shouting, "Crucify him!" Pilate asked what crime Jesus had committed, but the crowd persisted. Pilate finally gave in to the crowd's demands and sentenced Jesus to crucifixion. Pilate released Barabbas and handed Jesus over to be crucified. Simon of Cyrene was forced to carry Jesus' cross. A large crowd, including many grieving women, followed Jesus. Jesus told the women not to weep for him but for themselves and their children. 2 criminals were also led out to be executed with Jesus. At Golgotha, Jesus was nailed to the cross between the 2 criminals. Jesus prayed for forgiveness for those crucifying him. Soldiers gambled for Jesus' clothes. The crowd watched, and leaders scoffed, mocking Jesus to save himself. One criminal mocked Jesus while the other asked to be remembered in his kingdom. Jesus assured the repentant criminal he would be with him in paradise. Darkness fell over the land from noon until 3 in the afternoon. The temple curtain was torn in 2. Jesus cried out and breathed his last. The Roman officer declared Jesus innocent. The crowd, seeing what happened, went home in deep sorrow. Jesus' friends and the women who followed him from Galilee watched from a distance. Joseph of Arimathea, a good and righteous man, asked Pilate for Jesus' body. Joseph took Jesus' body, wrapped it in linen, and laid it in a new tomb. This happened late on Friday, the day of preparation for the Sabbath. Women from Galilee saw the tomb and how Jesus' body was laid. They went home to prepare spices and ointments, but rested on the Sabbath as required by the law.